Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming in. And I'm happy that we could say that it's actually Miami time, but punctual time, right? We are getting ready to start before 1:15. That's a record for Miami specifically. Thanks for joining us. My name is Barbara Cotto. I am the program director for FIU Business Innovation and Growth, aka BIG. And we are the host to different programs for entrepreneurs in the community, including veterans support and veteran and family members support, right? Today, we have the pleasure to have with us a presenter that is a good friend of the house, that it is an alum, right? Because she was part of the first cohort that we hosted under FIU Big 6 years ago, right? We have two that were part out of that cohort here today, one of them being a veteran fellow. And the reasoning behind us having Gloria with us today, which I will shortly introduce, is because she has mastered the way to government contracting, and she has become an essential advocate within the small business community for everyone who aims to procure with the government, whether it's local government, municipalities, right, county, federal government, or whatnot. And today she will be sharing with us how to market to government. And that has been a question very often asked, right? Because many people ask, well, do they go online, right? Do they go into LinkedIn? Do they go into my website? Do they do Google search, right? Should I be on that search optimization? Gloria will explain what is it that they are looking into and how can you market specifically to government, but also to private sector. So our presenter, you heard me mention her name a million times already in the last few minutes. Her name is Gloria Fonseca from Fonseca LLC. Gloria is a Colombian-American entrepreneur, CEO and founder of Fonseca LLC. I have to highlight that I met her when she became the CEO of the company. She had a former life as an economist and somebody that was very much a social advocate, and she joined the family business as her husband petitioned for her to come in and help him out grow the company, being a minority-owned and women-owned construction trade firm. After earning her bachelor's degree in international business, she took a bold step into launching her own business with her husband. That's when I met her. And let me tell you something, when I met Gloria, I met her casually in this same space. She came in with her father, that today I believe he's in Colombia. And she just came in asking for information. She was trying to figure out who she needed to reach out to so she could do government contracting. In her first contract, she aimed for it to be with FIU. With that, she has done many projects with FIU alongside with the FDOT, Broward Public Schools, Miami Public Schools, and many more. But she has also become an advocate in the community, and she participates into many groups. I could go on and on and on about Gloria, right, and about her achievements, because she doesn't get tired, and I don't know how she gets so many hours in the day. But I will let her be the one to actually share more about what she has done, how she has been successful at procuring with the government and sharing all the resources that she has in hand for you guys to connect and succeed at government procurement, right? And with that, no further ado, Gloria, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. One important thing that Barbara said is that I am an advocate, and because I am an advocate by nature, I always look for the one that know better than me. You cannot help others if you don't know how to help them. So that's why today I felt that veterans is a big, serious, and very respectful topic. And I decide, and I know many people, and today I want to highlight someone that is here first, and then we are going with my VIP guest. So today I want to highlight Mr. Moises. Mr. Moises, please stand up. When I came And I want you guys to know that this gentleman has been in business for several years, but when I came the first time to this, institutions to learn, he was part of the cohort. And every time that I saw him, every time that I heard him, every time that I was able to see his work, I always dreamed to become like him. I always dreamed to be in the level that he was at. And for me, it's an honor. I feel humbled that you are here, Mr. Moises. I know that besides that you already have gained many, many, many of your life years for this country. You have been an entrepreneur that is growing, scaling, and you were before me. So today we are going to share some important experiences. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Meeting started. Okay, the other VIP guest that I have here is Mr. Kevin Williams. You guys see him here in our monitors because he's far away. Mr. Williams is one of the veterans, one of the entrepreneurs, one of the small business owners. And I don't know if he's small still because he does big things. So I don't going to get into the numbers and finance, but Mr. Kevin Williams is a co-founder and CEO of TechCount, an award-winning service-disabled veteran-owned business that specializes in design, innovate, and emergence in smart cities. So you guys can read everything that he has done, and his background is huge. But Mr. Williams, I met him because I am part of the Vice President Committee of Florida State Supply and Minority Development Council. And Mr. Williams is actually, and he used to be also the president of the National Supplier Council. So he has been the one that direct us into the South region, Florida, on how to become successful, helping veterans, helping certified businesses in order to become successful bidders and successful actually small business contracting with the government. Mr. William will make the honor to share with us many of his expertise, and I am humbled to have him. Thank you, Mr. William. Do you want to say hello, please?
Absolutely. Good afternoon to everyone in attendance. Thank you, Gloria, for the invitation to participate. Looking forward to engaging with the members of the class.
Thank you. Okay, and we have another VIP guest because when we advocate, we need to understand that we are not the experts in everything. Because if you are the expert in everything, you don't know anything. So, and part of my journey has been understanding what are the key area that you must to become an expert in order to be a successful bidder and have contact with the government. And the other area that you must to have somebody that is knowledgeable and expert is in finance and accounting. And I have here Mr. Giovanni. Mr. Giovanni Rodriguez, he is actually a graduate alumni from Florida International University. He's an accountant, he's a CPI certified. He specialized in many areas of accounting. And he has been recognized as many associations and other institutions. He's part also of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. And he has been able to help many small businesses. So when we are small, we don't have, this $3,000 that an accountant, that is specialized, for example, in my area is construction. And in construction, if you want to have an accountant, they start for $3,000, something like that. When I met Mr. Rodriguez, he was a certified CPA, and he said, well, I can do something for you, but I realized that his expertise helped me in order to become smarter and to utilize my profit and don't return all the money to the IRS. And he will share with us some great tips that you guys need to know. That's the great VIP guest that we have today, and we are going to start. Thank you for everyone. Here we have Ms. Kathleen. I have many faces that I'm familiar with. So let's start. I have my assistant here, Ms. Melissa Soto. I had to say that she is one of the other people that I am thankful for, because without having someone that is always at your back, you cannot do great things. Okay, can we go to the next one, please? Do we have questions already? No? We're so serious. Smile. It's Thursday, almost Friday. Today we are going to talk about tips, because I have been in many presentations with many government institutions, but nobody in reality teach the tips. And today I want you guys to go away with tips, something that you guys are going to apply that nobody had told you, okay? So this is the agenda. So our agenda is, the first thing is embrace education, funding financial assistance, government, which is the difference between the government contracts and corporate certifications, financial strategies, government and private sector. And we are going to hear from Mr. Williams, the successful story of an entrepreneur that had been able to realize his certifications and be a great vendor for many government institutions. We are going to show the tips to find government opportunities, contract set aside, and at the end we will be able to hear from you guys the questions. Next, please. Why we start with education? So I am an example of education. I came 7 years ago to this building, knowing nothing about construction, knowing nothing about government contracting, knowing nothing about entrepreneurship. I used to be an employee. My profession is economist, and I came to this country and I started working as a social worker, and my 17 years of experience was in the field of the social work. I used to work with family court services and dependency court, and 7 years ago, everything changed, and my husband says, "Why you don't help me?" And I say, "How am I going to help you? I don't know anything about construction." And he said, "No, but you know how to help people." And here we are 7 years after. We are doing great. We are doing amazing. We already are generating employment for different communities, and 90% of our contracts are with the government. Education was the key. It has been a key for me since I was little. I didn't grow up in a nice, environment. And I always believed that education would take me out of the environment that I was at. And that's had been proven. So in education, I started attending here 7 years ago I remember the Barbara when she saw my income tax. That was part of the qualification for the cohort. She looked at me and she said, she didn't say anything, but she made her face and it's, that means that I was not making money. But she said, okay, I think that we are going to give you an opportunity. I start attending this cohort at Florida International University, and then I went to many other institutions that taught me how to become a small business successful company. I went to Miami-Dade County, I went to the SBA, I went to different municipalities, and every time that a county organized a seminar or a webinar I was part of. Also, I did the same thing with the municipalities, and I started with the one that I was living at, because we had to become smart on how to utilize what we have. So if you live in Miami Lakes, your company is in Miami Lakes and Miami Gardens and South Miami, you need to start to look in your community what you have there, because over there you will have an advantage. So that's what I did. And after that, I understood that there are many nonprofit organizations that assist small businesses. How many companies do you guys know that assist small businesses? Anybody has heard about small SBDC? Many are graduated from SBDC. Prospera? Okay. What about another one that is the Chamber of Commerce? There are many Chamber of Commerce that facilitate courses, facilitate cohort, facilitate education. Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce, I am the chair of the advocacy committee. Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce also has an important program that they bring the procurement agents to their meetings, and they, from first hand, help us to participate in those bids. So education was the key for me and has been a key for many other small businesses in order to go to the next step. There are certain agencies like a Florida State Minority Supplier Development Council that they issue some certifications, and those certifications open opportunities for us. So we are going to discuss and we are going to present the certification. I know the majority of the audience here is familiar with the certification, so we are not going and giving certifications. Today, we were invited to really learn on how the veteran certifications, how the veteran disabled in service certification is one of the opportunities that gives some advantage in contracts. There is no opportunity to do business without having financials in place. There is no opportunity to do business without cash flow in your bank in order to be able to perform contracts. So after that you are educated, you need to get funding. And for veterans, there are specific programs that assist the veterans, the friends that I certify as a veteran, that they open those opportunities and they open those lines of credits. We have listed here in those funding and financial assistance resources that you guys see here. When we share the presentation, it's just a click where you guys go to, and you guys just read what you need to have, what requirement in order to be part of that program. Mr. Williams, question for you. You can see now the screen, and are you familiar with this line of funding and financial assistance for veterans?
Is that a question for me, Gloria?
I can hear you.
Is that a question for me?
Yes, so I have listed here the VA Small Business Programs, the SBA Boots to Business Program, the Veteran Small Business Grants, crowdfunding and angel investors, the program comprehensive assistance for family. There are some specific lines that are just for certified veterans firms.
So are you asking, are those programs specifically for veterans?
You are familiar with those funding resources. Are you familiar with those funding resources? Or you can share another funding resource for veterans?
Yes, all of those resources are amazing resources, and they are designed specifically for veteran-owned businesses and service-disabled veteran businesses. The descriptions for all of those programs are in the va.gov web portal, and you can literally go into the web portal and find those specific programs and the descriptions of what those programs do for veteran-owned businesses and for service-disabled veteran-owned businesses.
Moises, have you applied for any line, a specific line for veteran that you have been successful to get it as a veteran because you hold that certification? Huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna stand up, and I know there's a little bit of action. So there's several programs that you need to do, but the very first thing you should do as a veteran, get CVE certified. If you're a service-disabled veteran-owned business or a veteran-owned business through the new portal of the SBA, you could go in there and get certified. You cannot self-certify like before, or you can't go through the portal of the VA. if you were transferred over, if you were an older version, if you were in the older version of the VA, they've transferred all your information to the SBA E-Certified. So you need to certify under the portal and become CVE certified. And then once you have that certification, any entity that does work with the government will honor that, say that, yes, you are a service-disabled veteran-owned business. Boots to the ground, and it's one of them, and also there's another one that's called, Boots to Business and Boots to the Ground. It's two different programs, and you could go into VBOC, Veteran Business Outreach Center, and you could see all the different opportunities they have in your local area. And I can emphasize enough with the SPDC and the Apex Accelerator, become a member of those, because then you'll start getting all the information, all the different trainings. And like Gloria said, education, and that's why I'm here, because I needed a refresher. Because sometimes things change. There's different portals, there's different ways of getting funding and help, so I cannot emphasize it, and I back up 100% what Gloria says. Educate.
So thank you, because you mentioned something important that we need to review. So before the Veterans Affairs, was the entity that was in charge to certify the veterans as a business, but they changed recently, and now the entity that is in charge to certify the veterans are the SBA, is the SBA. Thank you.
Right.
So
Right.
next one, please. How many of you guys are veterans here? Okay, thank you for your service, guys. Thank you. Okay, so can you guys move this? Okay. So we have government certifications and private sector certification. We basically touch a little bit what certifications are with the government, and we can utilize in order to secure contract with the governments. So there is the veteran small certification, and we already said that is issued by the SBA, and the service disabled veteran on small business certification that is also now through the SBA, and now those are like the ones that apply directly with the veterans. We have other certifications that are local. There is the small business enterprise, that one gives you an opportunity to get contracts set aside with the counties. You guys apply directly with the county. That are the one that Moise just mentioned, the CBE. Also, LBE is the local business enterprise, where the majority of the counties, Broward County, West Palm Beach County, and Miami-Dade County, they used to have. Now that there is a new bill, the 705 bill, that passed in the government, they removed our rights in order to have set aside contract. And I want to stop there because I was part of the advocacy, I was part of the movement, I was part of the people that was on the streets in front of the government center when this bill was passing. This bill, look what the bill was signed, is that they removed the preferential contracts that the county were able to set some goals for certified small businesses in the county. So we are not any longer receiving those benefits, because there were many businesses that didn't show up when we were doing the advocacy in front of the government center, asking the mayor to go with us to Tallahassee and advocate to stop that bill. And finally the bill passed, so we don't have any longer those certifications. So now we were in the 7360 program. 7360 program means that all the contracts that are open in Miami-Dade County and Broward County and West Palm Beach County, they are open to any company coming from any state to participate in those contracts, and that we, the local business enterprise, certified here, that live here, that pays taxes here, we don't have any preference. That's one of the things that are important, and that's one of the things that I have been learning in the education spaces that I have been part of. But besides of the learning, I have been part of the solutions. So the ones that really care for those set aside contracts are still fighting, and we need to go back and we need to call our small business division in our counties, because they are trying to help us in order to reward it, how they can put some contracts for us. Anybody, the ones that are here, do you guys are willing, and do you guys understand that those contracts help you to compete with a small group or competitors? And I am just re-emphasizing, because it's important, it's different when you have thousands of competitors that have more experience than you, that are bigger than you, and you might have 50 companies that are most likely the size of your company. They are local and you compete against them. So we need to learn how to advocate for our rights, and we need to be there, and we need to show up, because otherwise all of these opportunities that we had to do business with the government every day are getting away and away and away. We have the federal certification, that is the AA. We have learned many times that AA is a certification that is issued by the SBA. It lasts for 9 years. What that certification gives you is a preference in order to basically subcontract with other firms. And those contracts that the AA certified business are able to get are directly with the departments of Defense, Departments of Agriculture, Department of Transportation, Department of Treasury, Department of Energy. All the departments in the government have the opportunity to give those specific contracts for the certified firms AA. We need to know that you shouldn't apply for an AA certification until you have already experience working with the local government. That's very, very important. AA certification is the type of certification, if you don't have any opportunity already to show that you know how to contract with the government, you will be set to fail. If you just jump, get the certification, and for good reason you got an opportunity, you will be missing the more value of that certification. They have some certification. So HUB is another certification that is issued by the SBA. That, and when I learned in one of the cohorts that you can become a HUB certified, and that means that you open your office in a HUB zone. Anybody here is familiar with the HUB zone? How many of you guys have a HUB zone office located in a HUB zone? You? Okay, me too. That was the first thing that I did. So when I learned what the HUB zone was, and I say, I didn't have an office. I started next to my kitchen. That over there I put my, little desk, and I started over there. When I learned the HUB zone, and when I was able to grow, and when I was able to get an office, the first thing that I did was look for an office in a HUB zone. So now that I understand what a HUB zone is, I was able to hire employees. And when you hire employees, the other requirement of HUB zone is that you hire in any HUB zone, and people that lives in those HUB zone, but you have to maintain at least 35% of your employees for initially they reduced the term, because before was like a year, and now they are making sure that they stay 2 years with you. But that give you a preference, and HUB zone never meets, I had read different statistics, and HUB zone never meets the percentage that they need to meet. SBA is always looking for firms that are located, that are certified HUB zone. So if you guys are in HUB zone, please apply for those specific contracts. We have other certification like the National Veteran Business Development Council, Supplier Diversity Programs. There are now with many banks. Florida State Minority Supplier Development Council and the National Minority Supplier Development Council. They also certify firm as an MBE. Are you guys familiar with the MBE certification? Yes, Ms. Kathleen, what is the MBE certification? And what you use it for? But that, when I understood what that certification was for, so this is specific, council, what they do is they have all the corporations. They work with all the corporations. What corporations are? Disney, Home Depot, Office Depot. Corporation means entities that are already, they have presence around United States and international. So the MBE certification helps you to get contract with those corporations. So Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Johnson & Johnson, you name it. That certification specifically allows you, gives you a preference in order to get those contracts. I was able to get a contract with Coca-Cola. I was able to utilize my certification because I was part of the Florida State Minority Supplier Development Council Vice President Committee, and I learned, and I was part of the day by day, how they do things, when they meet with the corporation, and when they give me an opportunity to meet the corporations, I let them know that we need those contracts. I let them know that there are some contracts that they put too big, that they need to break it down. But if you are not part of those settings, nobody's going to hear that we need the big corporations to break down the contracts. I cannot handle a 100 million contract. I cannot, I don't have the capacity. But I can handle a 1 million contract. And what they are doing, because they hear the council allow us to be the advocates in order to meet with the corporations headquarters, and they listen to us, and then things change and happen. That's the MBE certified certification that they will use it for. I want to hear Mr. Giovanni, because after we have the certification, we already know what to do. We had some cash flow in our bank. We need to know specific things, and I want to hear it from the CPA perspective. What you guys must have, what you guys need to know, what you guys need to work on, because he's a CPA. At the end, you cannot have a CPA just on February when you go in to file taxes. If you are an organized company, you must have your CPA hired every month, where they review your books, they help you, they guide you, and I want to explain you, Mr. Giovanni.
Hi, everybody. My name is Giovanni Rodriguez. I am an alum here, graduated back in 2014. I worked in the public sector for about 6 years, and then I opened up my own firm back in 2019. I specialize in nonprofits, small businesses, and I have familiarity in contracting. So I think the number one thing for companies is profit and cash flow. Everybody loves to focus on profit. It's the bottom line, whether you're black or red. But the other very important part to that is cash flow, especially in contracting with retainage. If you do not have the cash flow necessary in order to do your operations, even if you're profitable, you can't function. You can't do the operations that you wanted to do. And this happens mostly through receivables. This happens when a company starts a contract with you, they agree to pay you as the contract completes or as you complete your work, and it sits in receivables. They take forever in paying. They take forever in sending out the money for whatever reason. And as that accumulates, as you get more and more companies and clients to do this, you have a cash flow problem. Even though you may look profitable, you won't be able to do your operations. So you either collect those receivables, you outsource them into companies who go and collect on behalf of you, or you write them off and you get a deduction for them. That can be a tax expense, and it can help you with your bottom line, what you owe to the IRS at the end of the year. Payroll is also very important. There are two main distinctions for payroll. There's 1099 employees and W-2 employees. The main difference being that you have no control over 1099 employees, they are contractors. Whereas a W-2 employee, you can have them do uniforms, you can tell them to come in from 9 to 5. And most importantly, you pay the taxes on those things, specifically self-employment taxes or employment taxes. From there, you have to file different forms, 941s, 1099s, W-2s and everything. And each one of those forms need to be filed usually on a quarterly basis for W-2 purposes, and 1099s need to be done annually on any contractor you pay more than $600 to. I can go a lot more detailed on that, but I think that's simple enough for the purposes of this. And then your tax reporting is also very important. Some companies even split out their books into corporate books and tax books. The reason being, and especially depending on what kind of corporation you have, whether that's an LLC, S Corp, C Corp. The reason for that is because the tax differences can be very dramatic. Meaning, if a company pays out, I don't know, 15,000 to charitable. Companies can deduct charitable expenses if you're a C Corp, but if you're a LLC, S Corp, partnership, any of those, they flow directly to your taxes, your 1040 at the end of the year, and you cannot deduct those expenses. Those have to be treated separately, they have to be pulled out. Another good example is depreciation. If you buy a car, you can choose to expense it immediately, but other companies or on the personal, you can't deduct a car, for example, and the depreciation for that is very different. So tracking those differences can be very tricky, and generally you want to be able to have books that are either separate or have an accountant who's preparing that for you in order to know the differences between the corporate and the taxation differences. And then finally, the different corporate structures that you can get into are LLC, S Corp, C Corp. Those are the main three. C Corp is mainly for companies who want to gather, joint venture capitalists or have investments into their company. If they already have an investor into their company, the C Corp is probably the best way to handle it. However, they are subject to double taxation, meaning that the corporate pays taxes on that level, and then whoever takes out money from that corporation also has to pay taxes on that. That is the largest barrier to the C Corp. And then the LLC and S Corp are very similar. They're both kind of, one is treated like a partnership, one is treated like a flow-through entity. They both have flow-through purposes, but it's for smaller companies. And the main big difference between the two is that in LLC, you have to pay self-employment taxes on any profits that the company makes. Whereas in the S Corp, you do not necessarily have to, so long as you have employees working, W-2 employees working in the S Corp. Even though with the company, we were able to save a lot of money because she was filing as an LLC for a couple of years, and then in the S Corp, she saved quite a bit in that simple change alone. So having a good accountant behind you is very good to not only make sure that you're doing well as a business, checking the financial health of your company, but of course, making sure that you pay to the IRS as little as you legally have to. So.
I have a question.
Yes.
How many of you are LLC C Corporation? 3. How many of you are LLC S Corporation? Okay. So if I tell you the truth, S. I didn't know when I incorporated the company. I didn't know anything. Somebody tell me LLC, C, and I did LLC, C. So when I start doing good and making money, I found my accountant, and I was, filing for the 1065. So the difference between the S and C corporation is the form that you use. So if we are C corporation, we file 1065. If we are S corporation, we file 1120. But I ended paying last year, no, 3 years ago, $60,000 of taxes. And I said, no. This is not, and he said, but you are paying double taxes. And I said, how am I paying double taxes? I don't want to pay, I want to pay taxes, but not double. And he said, yes, because you are A, C, and that you are paying, so he explained it already. That's why I brought him here, because you are not with an expert that went to school, that had the certification, that knows what is doing. You guys get somebody that tells you that they can do your taxes, and you are losing money, you are losing opportunities, and you are missing credits. There is many credits. Do you guys know that if you guys pay the daycare or your employees, that is deducted directly from your profit? Now I'm doing it. Now I'm doing it. Because it's painful for me when I send this amount of money and I can do great things for my employees. Do you guys know, because he educated me, that if we sign for health insurance for all our employees, everything is 100% deductible from the profit. All the expenses is 100% deductible. So that's important. And because we are not educated, we go and we get Obamacare. Big mistake. Big mistake. So those are the two tips that I want to share with you guys that I learned that I think that are very important, and it saves a lot of money. Go ahead.
Just want to add to that. When you're in construction, your books are a little bit different than if you have a regular retail or something else. So I don't know if you're gonna speak to it, but when you do your construction, you have what's your accrual and your work in progress, and you recognize the revenue depending on when it came in and how
The percentage of completion.
your percentage of completion. But that does not mean that you cannot do your taxes on the cash side, and therefore minimizing the amount of taxes that you need to pay. So, and on the accrual side and what you're giving to your bank, and when you're giving to your bond, because if you're doing federal work, you need to have on the accrual side, so you can show your bonding company, hey, I'm bondable, this is where my company is and how it's doing. But one thing is that, and another thing is your taxes that you're paying. So just to FYI, if you're anywhere in the construction arena, it's a little bit trickier, more so than to have an accountant to help you navigate that.
The ideal, actually, because it's so hard because of retainage, right? Once you complete the contract, that's when you get your 10%, 15, usually 10% retainage back. That's when the two books would be really handy. The IRS normally does cash basis, meaning they don't normally do accrual basis, they prefer cash. However, obviously companies, most of the time have accrual basis. If you can set up, if you have an accountant who's willing to do cash basis for you, sometimes the difference can be very big. You could defer taxes, which is always what we want to do, pay taxes later, just because of contracts that may be completing depending on the time. The only catch is, and that's why it's important, like I said earlier, to have two separate books. That's a very good example why it's important to have two separate books. Yes, thank you for that.
Any other question?
Yes, you mentioned the insurance, so what type of insurance should the business have?
Depends. There's a lot of different insurances, but I think you can speak more to that.
So the health insurance for you or your company, your employees. So when you get from package from any broker like Florida Blue or United Health, everything that you pay is going be it will be deducted from. I was at the beginning having for my husband and myself Obamacare, but of course I overpass whatever I said that I would make, and I was not just hiding anything. I thought that I would make 100,000, and it was over. So I had to return 8,000, 15,000. If I would get one of those packages, everything that I would pay would be deducted from the profit. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Giovanni. Thank you so much. Now we are going to get into the big thing with Mr. Williams. We can see here still the Williams. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. So Mr. Williams, I'm going to ask questions to him because he's the expert here, and I hope that you guys can hear him, because with the audio, that is terrible, isn't it? Okay. So the first question that I have for you, Mr. Williams, is which is the difference between the SDVOSB and the VSVE? So service disabled veteran on a small business and the veteran service business enterprise.
Okay, the difference between the VOSB, the veteran owned small business, and the SDVOSB is the veteran owned business is owned by a veteran. 51% owned by the veteran. SDVOSB is 51% owned by a service disabled veteran. So it's that one event is just the veteran that owns 51%, and the other is the service disabled veteran. That also must retain 51% ownership of the company, but you have to have a service disabled veteran designation from the Veterans Administration. It can be at 0% compensability. But it has to be a service connected disability that gives you that SDVOS status.
Do you have anything else?
He said it was not through the veterans, the VA, but they actually gave their responsibility to the SBA. I have my.
The SBA.
Right, I have
Yeah.
my SDVOSD certification through the SBA.
Yeah.
Right, the VA no longer does it.
Yes. That's the clarification that we made at the beginning.
So consider getting a veteran-owned designation and a service disabled veteran-owned designation from your state. So if you are registered to do business with your state through a small business program or a small disadvantaged business program, most states have their own veteran-owned business status and service disabled veteran status. And most of them will honor your state status if you show them your SBA status. You don't have to do the whole application process. Only suggest that you plan on doing work at state level, particularly based on what's taking place in the federal government now with DEI. You want to have a certification at the state level because some of those projects need to be pushed to the state. And if you do not have that certification, you may have problems. So I would go ahead and get that certification now if you're able.
Do you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. So in our instance with Gloria, is that? Thank you. So as it relates to us here in Florida, so is that through the My Florida Marketplace that he's referencing? Because My Florida Marketplace is for state contracting registration. So is he referring to, for us, would it be My Florida Marketplace?
So Florida Marketplace, you're right. That one is one of the platform that we go to, but for veterans, a conversation that we had with Mr. Williams, and he clarified to me was, we had the Veteran Affairs Region offices here. Mr. Williams, do you want to go over that, please? You hear me? Mr. Williams? Yes. So you had mentioned to me that the Office of Veteran Affairs, they have region offices. And any veteran certified business should start from the region office because they are entitled to provide all the services, finding contracts, educating them, funding sources.
Oh, I got you. So yeah. So the VA is separated into 18 different VISNs. So those VISNs represent geographical areas all over the country. Each division is its own regional system, and they believe me when I tell you they are their own individual fiefdoms inside of the organization. So you want to know who the points of contacts are in contracting in your division. So there's a division for Florida, and I think it's Florida and South Carolina, maybe a little bit of Georgia. There's another one for Virginia and Maryland and Delaware. And then of course they move all the way north and all the way west. So you're gonna want to know who those individuals are in those divisions because they have power in that local geographical area. And you want to be able to get to them directly to find out what opportunities they have. They may or may not be listed in the VA forecast. But you want to know who those individuals are. And if you go into VA.gov, you will be able to see how those divisions are broken down by geographical area. And if you call the VA's Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization and talk to the hospital or anybody on the hospital staff, they will be able to help you understand how those businesses are separated. And maybe even provide you with the contact information for some of the individuals in procurement and the project management team in those divisions.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. I have another question because in part of our presentation today, we promised that we will also talk about the veteran spouses. So my question is, how will the company operate in the event that the veteran passes away?
That's a real good one. If the veteran dies, your spouse can still run the business under certain special conditions. Depending on whether it's a service-disabled veteran business or just a business that's owned by a disabled veteran. If it's an SDOD, the veteran is 100% disabled at the time of death. The spouse can run the business, but only for a limited time. The spouse can continue to run the business of a service-disabled veteran-owned business if and only if the veteran is 100% disabled. So for VA contracts, until the spouse remarries or sells the business, or up until 10 years after the veteran's death, the spouse can run the business. If the veteran is not 100% service disabled, the service disabled veteran status is over. It ends at the time of the veteran's death, the service disabled veteran's death. Conversely, a disabled veteran, if the business is not formally certified as a service disabled veteran that operates by any other privately owned business, the spouse can inherit the business and run it, but it cannot retain the service disabled veteran status or its benefits under that program.
Thank you, Mr. William. The other question is, how do you utilize your preference certification when you are not the lowest bidder?
Is going to depend on how the contract is written. If it is a lowest price technically acceptable, then you don't have to have the lowest price. You can actually be a higher bidder, but technically acceptable. That is more for a state contract or a commercial contract. Let me give you an example. I have a contract that I won with a telecommunications company, and another one with a bank that was Wells Fargo. So I never lead with the fact that I'm a service disabled veteran business or a veteran owned business. And I don't recommend that you do either, unless you know that that entity is expected to do business with you for your status. I got to the end of the presentation where we were actually giving oral presentations, and one of the orators on the contracting team noticed in my that I was a service disabled veteran owned business. In both of those instances, we were not the lowest bidders. But that state, in North Carolina, had what is called a veterans preference. And in that veterans preference, it gave me 5 additional points on my rating score that caused me to win the job at a price that was higher than the other folks that were competing against me. So it is always good to have that information as a part of your proposal or a part of your submission. And if you have orals, at the appropriate time, make sure you mention that you are a veteran of a business or a service disabled veteran business. Because there are some organizations that have a veteran's preference, where if you are not the lowest bidder, your veteran's preference can catapult you to the top of the selection and cause you to actually win a bid. And you would not have won had you not been a veteran or a veteran on this veteran.
That one is an important tip. You get it? Okay. What would you advise Mr. Williams on not to do for a certified veteran firm that is willing to work as a subcontractor in the federal space?
I would strongly suggest if you have a service-based business that you focus in areas that are in your geographical locale. If you're based in Florida, why in the world are you trying to do a painting contract in Spokane, Washington? Your prices are going to be ridiculous because you got per diem, you got travel, you got all those other costs. They're going to make your proposal cost prohibitive. Focus in the area where you can physically get to your job, in the course of a day or two. Your pricing is going to be more competitive, and they're going to be more apt to want to do business because you're close in proximity to where your work is located versus trying to perform work in Mississippi when you're based in Tampa.
So we said it before. So we have started with where we have like any advantage. Mr. William, do you want to go over the mass tools that you share with me? The 4 mass tools that you share with me, please?
Strong suggest that whatever business you are going after, know your players. Do your homework. Find out as much as you can about the opportunity. If you're finding the opportunity, find out as much as you can about the customer. And if there is any history that you can glean from anywhere, whether it is through SAMS.gov or through the client or through an employee, do your homework. If you are working as a sub, find out as much as you can about the client that's working on the contract. Find out as much as you can about the incumbent that is sitting on a contract that is about to expire. So you want to do your homework to know as best you can. Use every tool that is at your disposal, including LinkedIn. Go on LinkedIn, find the individual, find the government agency or the entity, find somebody that works there, ask them how they can total companies. Ask them how landscaping companies do it. They're you will find if you look hard enough someone that will give you information, actionable intel that will help you to decide whether or not to go after a job or how aggressively to go after a job. Do your homework, study the client, study the opportunity, and any past points that you can get any information on. Other thing that I would strongly suggest, particularly for those of you who are new in business, how many of you are new, like you're in business or less?
How many of you have been in 1 year in business or less? One? Just one? 5 years? 2, 3? 3? Okay. So we have one less than 1 year, 3 under 5 years, and the rest we are more than 5 years, 20 years. Yay!
My strongest suggestions are to make sure from an accounting perspective, if you were doing federal work, make sure you are working with a CPA that understands compliance. So your finance guy that's in the room right there, you can send me a check for this check in the mail. If you are not a finance person and you don't have history with government contracts, do not try to navigate your way through that on your own. You will gut it up. You only get one chance to make a good first impression. So don't screw it up by thinking it's something that you can handle with the contracting offer is expecting specific reports from you on performance. Make sure your invoices line up. So you don't do anything to jeopardize getting paid. Because if your documentation is wrong, they will not pay you. That will slow down you getting your paycheck and jeopardize your performance on that job, where you could be terminated for the law because you can't perform because you don't have any money. That leads me to the next thing that you must do. You must secure a line of credit before you need it. Do not wait until you bring a contract and have no money in the bank and have no way to make your payroll until you get your first paycheck. Sometimes it takes the government 60 to 90 days to pay you. How are you going to pay your people when that job has 20 headcounts? You're not. If you are not in close communication with the executives at your local bank or the bank that you bank with, go to the bank and introduce yourself. Make sure you know who you're banking with so that when it's time for you to get that line of credit, you know exactly what to do because they have told you exactly what they need to do. Get access to capital or you need it because when you need it, it's too late. The last thing is deliver what you promise. If you say that you're going to do a job, do exactly what you say you're going to do. Under promise and over deliver. And don't make excuses when you screw up. Own your mistakes. Make the necessary corrections. And keep moving forward. Do not make excuses for why things went left. Own them and move forward. That contracting officer or that procurement person will respect you more for not trying to hide from them or not answer their phone calls, or their emails, or if you try to sweep things under the rug or blame it on the window cleaners or blame it on the elevator guys, just hold up to it, take responsibility. Fix whatever needs to be fixed and whatever.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, and has been an honor to have you here, an honor to share your experience, and I know that we are leaving with a great information, takeaways. Do we have any questions? Yes, sir.
Not a problem. In addition to what Mr. Williams said, just to piggyback, just to help everyone in here, you can actually Google what he was defining as something in the contracting world is considered is called capture management. So if you Google capture management, it will tell you exactly what Mr. Williams just said, but it would expound on it in terms of all the research you should be doing leading up to trying to bid on a contract, whether it's a contract that has been similar in the past, which you can look up that information, the players, the contracting officer, forecasting. In the definition of capture management, that will define all those things that you should actually be doing leading up to submitting for a contract.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
I think he said to say something, Gloria.
Mr. Williams? I think Melissa is talking to him.
I'm trying to fix the audio.
What time is it?
If you have a chance to actually win a contract, that computer, you'll capture people on your team, if you are fortunate to have a capture team, are going to have a compliance matrix. And when you are responding to an RFP, you simply have to answer the mail. You know, you have to make sure that you are able to do all of the things that you are required under the contract to do, that you have the capabilities to deliver those things. Because if you miss it and you win the award, you own it. You have to do a compliance matrix that makes sure that your company can do A, yes, B, yes, C, yes. If you get to D and the answer is no, you won't be compliant, and you will be wasting hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in a proposal effort that you don't have a snowball's chance of doing. So you have to make sure that whatever you are contracting or whatever you're proposing to do, that you actually go through every piece of that plaster piece and know that the company can actually deliver what it is.
Yeah, that's why when we receive invitations to bid, when we receive any solicitation, when we receive those courtesy emails that we have in our inbox inviting us to bid, we need to go over the 40 pages, 60 pages, whatever amount of pages, because that's the secret. That's exactly what has been the key for the success of our company. We know exactly what we are signing for. We know exactly what we are going to deliver, and we always plan to deliver beyond. And that has been another key item in our profile. When they ask you to deliver, and we do painting, commercial painting, carpentry, and window cleaning. When they ask me to paint this room, and I see that lobby wasn't included, and I know that lobby doesn't look the way that it should be, I go and deliver that too. And that has given me an excellent evaluation. It's not that I am giving my work for free, but I am teaching, and I have been able to receive a tremendous feedback. But not just that, I have been able to receive another referral because that department said, this company goes beyond. And that's the reputation that we have. That's a key to win bids. When you are already building your reputation, they talk between them. They comment, They send emails because the city of Miami talked with the city of Miami Gardens, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you did a great, excellent performance. Your name is going to be at the top of the reference, at the top of the referrals, at the top of everything. And that has been actually our experience. I want to hear from the ladies that I have here. What do you do?
I have a commercial cleaning service company and we specialize in cleaning of restaurants.
You have already contract with the government? No, but you have commercial contracts already. You are in the private sector and you can show that you have cleaned a commercial. Okay, that's important because that's the base. There's another myth that the people have in their minds, and I don't know who had sold that idea, that you can go to the government and sell to the government when you haven't even one contract in the private sector. I don't think that the government is so innocent in order to hire somebody. They don't show references because they are very careful with the federal dollars. So if we want to go to the government, we need to at least have some reference in the private sector. That's very important. Thank you. Your name, ma'am?
My name is Shereen Gomez,
What do you do?
and my company is transportation and logistics.
Okay.
I'm a broker, and we broker out to the carriers that when customers get their vehicles, boats, yachts, RVs picked up and transported nationwide, door to door.
You do it nationally or nationally? Around what country? Texas, Arizona, Alaska, whatever. Okay. I know that I have a lawyer here. She's the one. Anyway,
Nothing to do with construction at all. They have a court reporting business. I do have contract with the government with local municipalities, but I was looking, today to hear about what the marketing portion of this was gonna be. Because that's something we've never done. We've never sold our business. It's always been word of mouth and through contracts. But now we find things are changing and I need to start marketing the business better.
well, you are in the right place. The government buys everything. The government buys consultants in every area. The government buys furniture, buy light, buy painters, buy glass, everything. The only thing that the government produces are memorandums. Besides that, they buy everything. And we are here to sell them our products and our services. Your name?
My name is Perla Sierra. I used to run my husband's business. He's an electrical construction company. And we have a lot of experience with like Homestead Air Force Base, mostly water and sewer also, but we go through subs. And so we're looking for opportunities to go directly. And that's what I'm here.
I'm going to give you a good insight for the grace of God. Because just him, I can be so good, my husband can be so good, I can be very smart, but God doesn't give you a favor. It's difficult in everything that we have done in 7 years. I only say that we have the favor of God and we do and deliver excellence. So I had never worked as a subcontractor. Never. I always work, all the contracts that we have been as a prime contractors. And that's exactly what we need to advocate for. Because if the big ones continue getting the big contracts, the small ones never going to go up. But we need to be on the committees, we need to be on the politics. I don't like the politics, but when there is a meeting and they are going to address something important, we are there. Gasoline is with me in all the meetings. Your name?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gasoline Resources. I am a hairstylist wig maker. So for me, I am here because I'm trying to figure out my outlet and way out into the marketplace for wigs to like the veterans, the cancer patients, the hospitals, and the government with the prisons, even teaching class if I have to. So I'm trying to figure out my outlet. That's why I'm here.
Another lady.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jackie, and I'm with All Uniform Wear. So we basically cater to a bunch of industries in the state of Florida, as well as private sector. And we're getting in the process of getting registered and certified through the procurement process. So I thought it would be a great opportunity for us to be here and get a little bit of more knowledge. Thank you.
So let me tell you, we are in construction. I started construction 7 years ago. I know numbers. I am economic by profession. But now that I am making money in the construction, and I have learned a lot of the small business, system, I am now moving to the commercialization of products. I am part of the International Trade Consortium Committee of Miami-Dade County. I am part of the board. And as a board member, what we do in that committee is that we organize mission business trips. We go to many countries and we actually market our businesses, and we bring many other businesses from many other countries to Miami-Dade County, and we help them to market their companies here in Miami-Dade. Do you guys know that that exists? Anybody knew that that exists or no? I don't think nobody knows. I don't think nobody knows. So now, when I learned that, and I am part of that committee, and I say, I don't want to be doing construction probably the rest of my life. That's why now I am going to certain countries because I am exploring certain products to bring it here to United States and to commercialize them. That's exactly what you were talking about. Sometimes we get so little in our minds, so linear, that we forgot there is a rainbow of opportunities. The only thing that you must to have is what Mr. Williams says. You must to be diligent on your numbers, on your papers, because government doesn't play. You do and you become creative with the government, you're going to handle it when you don't want to. But if you are doing construction and you find an opportunity, with the government, I was able to sell them another products because nobody was selling the products. They were looking for batteries. And I found a provider that was selling good prices batteries, and I sell it to them. And I do construction. That's what I am inviting you guys to do today. Think broader. Just don't keep your eyes on what you guys do. Every time that you go to a seminar, every time that you go to another opportunity to learn, hear what the people is doing. And always go to the SBA website because they are looking for great companies and many products. Broward County is looking for, how you guys call it? Not houses, las mangueras. ¿Cómo se dice manguera en inglés? Hoses. Nobody's providing them hoses. So I'm going to a country and I am going to see if I can sell it to them. So please, you go out to another country, let me know and we sell it together. Your name?
Hi, my name is Jael. I'm a little bit like, Liliana. I always think outside the box, so I do 3 things. The first one is that I get connected with the businesses, different businesses, with grant writing or, loans. Like right now, I'm looking for a loan for another business. They say, hey, look, here's all the information, go get me the loan. So they trust me on that. The hustle, thank you for that, because I have 2 businesses that I work with directly are in the hustle. I just looked it up, so that helped me out big time. I also do, this is my, doing government contract, that's another thing that I'm getting into it. And the last thing, the one that my passion is about, that I always do is help people with caregiving. There's a lot of people, we all work, right? We all have family members that may need people to take care of them. And that's what I hope in. I hope fill out the applications from the government to get the help you need. That's one thing I have been doing for many years, and that's what I love to do because it is hard to work and take care of other people. And not everybody knows all the benefits that the government gives you.
Thank you. You, sir, do you want to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, my name is Max Cacchione. I represent Rotation Software. We are a software development firm. We are certified small business by Miami-Dade County. We've been around for 11 years and happy to be here learning. Thank you.
So you guys know the AI is now 13 and everything that is about technology. So welcome, you're nice, sir.
I have a company that lives, solar lights, solar works. And my partner is
Partner,
Hi everyone, sorry for the delays.
you missed the lunch.
That's possible. By the way, I'm Natalia. I'm a certified real estate broker up in New Jersey. I'm dealing with my partner regarding this new system that we have now with the LED lights.
It's a huge market for that here. Sir,
Hello, my name is Ronnie Geis. I'm an investment advisor, work with my family business in Pembroke Pines. Mostly working with young people fresh out of university or starting their first job, helping them to set up retirement plans for themselves.
Good evening, good afternoon. My name is Moises Montañez from Alta Quality Builders. We're a full-service remodeling and renovation company. From office build-outs, commercial build-outs, and government work. We really are a construction company, but we don't sell construction. We sell quality of life by transforming the environment in which people live and work. Basically, if you can dream it, we can build it.
hey. I have been against Moises.
They haven't issued it yet.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Miles. I am a city and governmental leader. 17 years in Miami-Dade County government, working in this highest level of Miami-Dade County, which is the county manager's office. I do have information in SBB and DEE services as well. The platform that we're working with now is called SABRE, Science, Architecture, Business, Engineering, and Robotics in AI. So I'm here to try to see what we can build together, and if there's anything that we need or services that we can provide together as a compact unit, we can get it done.
I am missing Mr.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dr. Pochi. I'm the founding director of a company called MPRS Office Management Services LLC. This company provides our main objective is to help small and medium businesses scale at cost. Let me tell you a brief history about it. Thank you, Gloria, for the opportunity. I know her for several years now. I met it in many service events, and I was also part of the FSRDC, where I was the industry chair in the IG group. So I have a couple of companies here in Miami, but main problem, human resources. People are bringing, train them after 6 months, and I cannot have more than 4 employees in my office, but so I cannot give them all the benefits. So they fly away to a better opportunity, getting trained. So this has been a recurring problem for more than 6 years. I'm from India, so I was looking for some solutions. So I found my company back in India. I have my own office, back office. So where we have about 25 employees helping us. And I'm giving that opportunity now, having trained, having established my own standard operating procedure. I'm bringing this opportunity for all the small companies and medium companies who may need the services at a fraction of the cost. So we help people scale at cost. And when I say back office, people are kind of confused, but I can simply say that, for example, bookkeeping, social media management, website development, and all the other things that goes on behind the scenes. Thank you.
Sir?
Hi, my name is Daniel Silva. I'm with Silva Hearing. We're a design firm here in Miami. We do everything from graphic design to web development. We try to specialize in publishing, catalogs, brochures, magazines, and that kind of thing. We've been in business for a while. We just started trying to work with the government. I started with the federal government. We got approved for that GSA schedule a couple of weeks ago, so that's why I want to. 2 years, but we finally did it just 2 weeks ago, so that's why I'm here now to try to figure out how to market that area. So I know it's hard, but it's doable. So,
It is that now you are the one, because few companies are in the GSA schedule. When you are in the GSA schedule, you don't need to learn how to navigate those websites and start, just looking for the one that I'm looking for you. And send emails. And then you're gonna say, I am put up as
My name is John Garcia with JRG Consulting Group, and I do remodels, additions, new builds, probably about 80% residential, and I do about 20% commercial. I like residential. I like the people.
Sorry. I started out in residential. And actually, my company is Alta Home Remodeling, and my DBA is Alta Quality Builder. Because as you grow and you go into the government, they go like, your residential contract, what are you doing? So, but like you, hopefully you will grow too.
Yeah, my plan is to grow to get bigger contracts. I mean, I have large residential contracts, but they're not continuous, so hopefully government contracts.
Keep the mix. I keep the mix.
Yes.
You have to keep the mix, no eggs in one basket, several baskets, so.
What I do in the private sector is I do luxury buildings, and the way that we start, so let me tell you. I didn't know anything about construction, so I said, well, I want to sell to FEMA, but FEMA didn't know me, didn't want me. I didn't have the requirements to work with FEMA. So I said, okay, let me go to the luxury building where the people that had money lives. And I, create a route, and I said, this week I will go to Brickell and, all of those high rises. And I start doing that, and I knock the door, and they say, oh no, the, homeowners, no, the property management office, you leave your information and they call you. They never call you. I come back, and I did it like for 3 months, and every building, they were tired of me. They were tired of me. So the front desk guy, one day he said, I'm so sorry, I know that you had come so many times. You know what? You go. Don't tell them that I don't know who allowed you to get in. So I went to the, office, and voila. When God gives you a favor with the people, and you have been working really hard, those doors will open. And we start with 1 apartment, and then with 2, and then with 3. And the only thing that I make sure that they will do is to go back to the property management office and let them know how we perform. So they heard from about 15 homeowners. And they say, we are going to paint the building, 40 floors. Send a proposal. And we want it.
My name is Diego Leon. We are general contractor. Diego Leon. We're general contractor at Hialeah. Yes. We do mostly industrial, some commercial, and interior build outs and emergency restoration.
People, congratulations. Okay, so we know each other, we know what we provide, we know what we do. But today's presentation is about how to market with the government. And the government, we need to remember that they don't gonna buy to someone that just say, I had those 20 certifications, but I haven't done anything. So we can start from the residents, we can start small, because everything that we do, we need to document it, but we need to do it with excellence. And when we have one reference, we go for the second one, for the third one. We start bidding with the municipalities. I won City of Miami Beach. I won the bid for the Parks and Recreations. They asked me to paint a train, Kiros train. We do carpentry and painting. And that train, when my husband went, my husband is really good. So every time that I'm talking, he's working. So somebody has to do the dirty work. That's my husband. But when they asked us to try to bring to life that train, my husband said, yes, I can do it. But when he started working on it, it fall apart. It was, no, but we have already gave a price. And we didn't contemplate that what we find inside, we didn't know it. So with that project, we start losing money. And I told my husband, I'm going to the city and let them know they need to see it, how we will know it. He said, no. We gave out a work. We are going to work. We say that we will do it and we will do it, even though we don't make money. And we did it. And the result was amazing, up to the point that they called the city manager. The city manager called me and said, wow, because we left it like a new one. They wanted to just put it on the truss, but we brought it back and it was beautiful, beautiful. I was willing to actually lose money, but because I signed a contract, that's exactly what I had to do. And that opened a great reputation for us. And that opened many other departments, not just Miami-Dade Parks and Recreation. They pass the word of mouth. They do great, they are excellent, they go beyond, and here we are. Here we are, Jackson Health, City of Doral, City of Miramar, Broward Public Schools, Melissa, what else? Zoológico, we won the zoo. Now we are painting the Lions Cave, we are painting the all the animals. It's crazy, but it's an amazing journey. We do the right things. Questions? We all can do it. We all can do it. If we are, how Mr. Williams says, if we do what we need to do, if you are organized, you have your house in order, you have somebody that help you with the accounting, you have the money in order to pay your payrolls, and then you deliver beyond what you promised. No more questions? You didn't introduce yourself? So now you need to pass it again. I'm sorry. And I'm missing you too. Oh my God, thank you. We are missing the just.
Good afternoon, my name is Fred Orrig. I work for a company called Hydraulic Sales and Service. We've been working, let's see, the company's been around for 54 years. Our main line we started with hydraulic products, and then we added hydraulic service and repair. And I've been with the company for 28 years. I went after government. I went after county. I have every department in the county, from solid waste to aviation, park and recs. Everyone has hydraulics to lift something, to move something. And we got, let's see, we've been on the county bid since 1980. And I'm currently maintaining it. And I call on aviation, sewer, solid waste, public works, police department. Police department has hydraulics also. They lift the cars. Fire department. With the fire department, I sell them and repair parts that go on fire engines, the equipment that lifts the fire trucks. And it's we're on a couple contracts that are go contracts because you've done such a good job with them, and they run into difficulties trying to find a vendor for that commodity. And they say, incredible bid for you. And that's where we go, that's where we're at. So we do approximately 45 million a year, and we're only in Dade County. Well, except for Disney World, we sold cables with a Lion King when they had the Lion King out there. And those are the little crystal cables that move the fingers and move the head. But now we're branching out because the county is now bidding everything. It used to be for certain areas, for certain companies, certain commodities, but now it's you can't use those guys anymore. It has to go in through forms and it goes out as a bid on the computer. So we want to be, we'd like to have a little edge over our competition, and it turns out the owners of that. So we said, let's get that, let's see what we need to do. And then that's where we're at. We're moving forward for another 50 years.
Congratulations, you are an inspiration for us.
Thanks. My name is Reggie Miller. My company is DEFCON Restoration Services. We're a full service restoration company. In addition to that, we're into disaster recovery. So I am developed a relationship with FEMA and a few of the prime contractors. So looking forward to doing some good work this year. Hopefully not at the expense of folks, but we're here to assist and help people get back hopefully to as close to normal life as possible after big events like hurricanes, things of that sort.
Do you do investment? That's what I don't do.
That the schools are looking for those providers.
Yeah.
The ones that do the best. So this is one of the platforms that we use and that we search for solicitation for bids. They actually send to us daily basis emails where we just select the veteran ones, but they send everything, not just for veterans. Now, we have to listen to the experts because we are not in the size that we can cover the entire United States. Look for the ones that you can do, that you have some advantage. For example, I am now bidding for the ones in Colombia because I do have advantage in Colombia. I can find somebody that manage my office there and can handle the projects. So you guys have some opportunities in other countries. This is one of the, we are going to share Barbara, are we going to share the presentation? So there are different platforms that you guys can sign up and you will receive daily basis bid opportunities based on your commodities. Yes, there are, how many people, I'm sorry. So there are other platforms like Demand Star. You guys are familiar with Demand Star? No? Okay, so Demand Star is another platform that many of the municipalities use. What they do is any contract that is coming out higher than $75,000, they put it in that platform. You need to subscribe to Demand Star. There are different subscriptions. There is a cheapest one that you pay $30, I believe, monthly, or something like that. And you can subscribe to City of Miami, City of Hialeah, Sunrise, all the municipalities. And you start receiving based on the commodity codes that you put in your profile, you start receiving those solicitations. There is another one that the Broward County is using, that is B-Pro. B-Pro is the new platform that Broward County is using for all the contracts. All the contracts. So you guys need to register. Usually when you register in those platforms, they ask you for your, of course, your INN number. They ask you for the accounting information. They ask you for the tax receipt, etc., etc. So you put all of that information and you get registered based on your commodity, codes. They send you emails. Broward County is really good because they have a newsletter. In the newsletter, you register for free. And the director of the Office of Economic Development, he usually posts the projects that are coming out with 3 or 4 months ahead. And he usually organizes an event where he presents who is going to be the prime. I have been in many of those meetings, and I have won a couple of projects over there. The other one other thing that I really want to emphasize is there are pool of contractors. Pool of contractors means that City of Miami is going to need general contractors to do repair of the theater door. And they don't want to just create a solicitation. They want to have certain people that they know that they are capable to deliver that, and they call them without a solicitation. So those pool of contractors, you call, you find out this, and I do residential. I know how to do walls, or I know how to create a kitchen, whatever. They have those pool of contractors. If you guys sell uniforms, if you guys sell any type of services, they have those pool of contractors, and they are always looking for people to get qualified in that pool. And when you are in that pool, you don't need to go through a bid, okay? Broward County always also have the Arriva system, and with that system, you can receive, for example, contract from University of Miami,